I woke up to a notification I'll never forget. Our joint account, $47,000 gone. Every penny. Transferred out while I slept. My husband's side of the closet was empty. His suitcases gone. Our wedding photo. Face down on the dresser. And my best friend? Her number went straight to a disconnect message. He thought he'd cleaned me out. He thought he'd left me with nothing. He had no idea that 6 years ago, when he wasn't paying attention, I'd signed one piece of paper that would change everything. My name wasn't just on our joint account. It was on his $500,000 family trust, and I had every page, every signature, every notarized seal locked in a binder he'd never looked at twice. Where are you watching from, and what time is it there? Drop it in the comments. And hit subscribe, because you're going to want to see how this ends. Let me back up, because the real story started 6 years ago, when I made one decision that saved my life. 6 years ago, I married Daniel. He was charming. He had an easy smile and old family money, the kind people don't talk about at dinner parties. He'd mention a small trust his grandfather set up, but he always waved it off. Lawyers handle it. It's boring. I didn't push. I was a CPA. I'd built my own client list from scratch, working 60-hour weeks to prove I didn't need anyone's help. I liked numbers. I liked documentation. I saved every receipt, every contract, every email. It drove Daniel crazy sometimes. You don't trust me? He'd joke when I'd ask to read things before I signed. I trust paperwork, I'd say back. 3 months after our wedding, Daniel's estate attorney called us in for a meeting. Standard stuff, Daniel said on the drive over. Just updating beneficiaries. The attorney slid a stack of documents across the table. We're adding your wife as co-trustee, he explained. It's common for married couples with family trusts. For estate planning purposes, Daniel barely looked up from his phone. I read every line. Section 4. 2. Dual trustee authority. My name typed in next to Daniel's. A notary waiting with her seal. I signed. Daniel signed. The attorney smiled. You're all set. I asked for copies. Certified copies. The attorney handed me a folder. I put it in a blue binder the day we got home. Daniel never asked about it once. A year later, I met Jenna at one of Daniel's company events. She was funny, sharp, easy to talk to. We became close. Best friend close. I gave her a key to our house. I trusted her. I didn't think about that blue binder again. Not for 6 years. Not until the money disappeared and I had nothing left to lose. 3 weeks before he vanished, Daniel came home with paperwork. He slid it across the kitchen table while I was making dinner. Just a quick signature, babe. Refinance docs. I wiped my hands and picked up the first page. Let me read it first. His smile tightened. You don't trust me? I trust reading what I sign. He exhaled hard. It's just a refee, to lower our rate. You're making this difficult. I kept reading. The terms didn't match our mortgage. The collateral section referenced accounts I didn't recognize. I need to look at this tomorrow when I'm not tired, I said. He took the papers back. Forget it. He didn't bring them up again. But something shifted. He started working late. He stopped asking about my day. And Jenna, my best friend, stopped answering my texts. We'd talked every day for 4 years. Suddenly nothing. I called her. Voicemail. I texted. Read receipts, no reply. She's going through something, Daniel said when I mentioned it. Give her space. Then I found the receipt. It was in his coat pocket when I took it to the dry cleaner. Hotel Suite. 2 key cards. Valet for 2 cars. Spa package for 2. The same week he told me he was at a conference in Dallas. The hotel was 20 minutes from our house. I confronted him that night. You're being paranoid, he said. That was a client meeting. Jenna's dealing with personal stuff. You need to stop looking for problems. I didn't say anything. But I started watching. 2 days later, I woke up alone. And broke. I reached for my phone. Bank app, refresh. Joint account, $0.00. Savings, 0. I pulled up the transaction history. 11 withdrawals. Over 2 days. All approved with his login. $47,850. Gone. I called him. Straight to voicemail. I called Jenna. Number disconnected. I ran downstairs. There was a note on the kitchen counter. I need to find myself. Take care of yourself. D. No apology. No forwarding address. Nothing. I called a family law attorney that morning. Do you have evidence of fraud? She asked. He emptied our account. Was his name on it? Yes, but then it's a dissolution issue, not criminal. Was your name on any other assets? Retirement accounts? Property? I felt my chest tighten. I don't know. Recovery will take time, she said gently. Maybe years. I sat on the kitchen floor. Bills spread out around me. 2 months until the mortgage would default. I felt erased. Then I looked up. The blue binder was still on the shelf. I pulled it down. Dust on the spine. I opened it. Page 12. And I found the sentence that changed everything. Section 4. 2 of the Trust Amendment. I read it once, twice, 3 times. In the event of marriage, trustee authority shall be jointly held by Daniel Harmon and spouse, requiring dual consent for withdrawals exceeding $10,000. My name, right there, typed, notarized, legal. I flipped back to the cover page. Trust value at last valuation, $540,000. I remembered the attorney's voice from 6 years ago. This protects both of you. Daniel had nodded, distracted, eager to leave. I had read every word, and now I had signing authority, equal authority. He couldn't touch that trust without my approval. And he'd just abandoned me with a paper trail half a foot thick. I pulled out my phone. I took a photo of Section 4.2, the notary seal. Both our signatures at the bottom. Then I found the trust administrator's contact information in the folder. I drafted an email. Professional, calm, direct. I am writing to confirm my co-trustee status and request a current account summary. I hit send. For the first time in 3 days, I took a full breath. He didn't just leave me with nothing. He left me with leverage. But I needed more. Because if I was going to do this right, I had to be sure he couldn't fight back. I didn't have to wait long for a response. The trust administrator replied within 6 hours. We've received your inquiry. We'll provide documentation within 5 business days. That was Tuesday. By Thursday, I had a different email from a law firm I'd never heard of. Subject line, cease and desist, Harmon Family Trust. I opened it. The letter was 3 pages long. It accused me of unlawful interference with premarital assets. It claimed I had no legal standing to contact the trust administrator. It demanded I vacate his property, our house, the one we'd bought together. And it threatened a restraining order if I continued financial harassment. There was no mention of the empty bank account. No mention of Jenna, just threats. I forwarded it to my attorney. She called me 20 minutes later. Do you have your copy of the trust documents? I have everything. Then they're bluffing. This letter has no legal weight, but they're trying to scare you. It worked a little. The mortgage company called that afternoon. Payment was overdue. I applied for a credit card to cover bills. Denied. Then Daniel's mother left me a voicemail. You were always a gold digger. My son finally saw through you. Don't contact this family again. I played it twice. Then I saved it. Because I save everything. The trust's quarterly distribution was scheduled in 72 hours. $120,000. Daniel needed my signature to release it. And I had one more receipt to drop. I went back to our joint account. Not the balance, the history. I exported every transaction from the past year. Then I opened a spreadsheet. I started marking patterns. Transfers to an external account. Always the same account number. The name on the account, J. Callahan. Jenna. 32 transfers. The first one was 8 months ago. $200. Then $500. Then $1,000. By the end, he was sending $3,000 and $4,000 at a time. Total, $47,850. Every transfer lined up with a business trip. Seattle, Denver, Nashville, Dallas. I cross-referenced his credit card statements, hotels, dinners for 2. Jewelry stores. One transfer had a memo line. Our future. This wasn't impulsive. This wasn't a mistake. He'd been planning this for months. While he told me we needed to tighten our budget. While I skipped buying work clothes to save money. While he asked me to sign papers I didn't understand. I saved the spreadsheet. I printed it. I labeled it Receipt Number 2 and added it to the binder. Now I had motive. I had proof. And I had a plan. I knew what he'd done. But I didn't know why. For that, I hired a forensic accountant. It cost me $800 I didn't have. I put it on a friend's credit card and promised to pay her back. She had the report ready in 6 days. Daniel had $91,400 in personal debt. Credit cards I'd never seen, a line of credit at a casino, a car lease in his name only, and a lease on a downtown condo, signed 8 months ago, co-signed by Jenna Callahan, the condo I'd never heard of, the one he'd been living in while coming home 3 nights a week. The forensic accountant had highlighted one more thing. The trust distribution, scheduled for that quarter. Automatic, $120,000. Enough to clear his debts, enough to fund his exit, enough to start over with Jenna, if he could get my signature. That's why he'd asked me to sign the refinance papers. It wasn't a refinance. It was a lien, to cover his debts and clear the way for the payout. He wasn't leaving me. He was erasing me. And when I wouldn't sign, he ran. He thought he'd drained me dry, thought I'd be too broken to fight. I sat with the report for a long time. Then I said it out loud. Now I know exactly what to do. I met with my attorney the next morning. I brought the binder. All of it. I want to freeze the trust, I said. Today. She looked at the co-trustee clause. She looked at the transfer records. She looked at the forensic report. You can do this, she said. You have standing. You have authority. Then let's file. We drafted an emergency motion to the trust administrator and the probate court. Freeze all distributions pending dissolution of marriage and investigation of financial fraud. I signed it. As co-trustee, I had that power. We filed it electronically at 2:47 p.m. By 4:15, the trust administrator responded. Freeze confirmed. No distributions without dual trustee approval or court order. I filed for divorce the same day. Grounds: financial abandonment and dissipation of marital assets. I attached the bank records, the forensic report, the trust amendment, every receipt. The petition went out for service to Daniel's last known address and his attorney. I didn't call him. I didn't warn him. I just moved. That night I didn't sleep. I didn't need to. I had the truth. And the hearing was set for 10 days later. He showed up. So did I. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Daniel sat at the table across from me. Expensive suit. No wedding ring. Jenna wasn't there. His attorney stood first. Your Honor, Ms. Harmon has no legal claim to premarital assets. She is unlawfully interfering with a family trust established decades before this marriage. We ask the court to lift the freeze and award sanctions for this frivolous action. The judge looked at me. My attorney stood. Your Honor, my client is not interfering. She is exercising her legal authority. She slid the trust amendment across the bench. Ms. Harmon is a named co-trustee, signed and notarized 6 years ago. The freeze was lawful and within her rights. The judge picked up the document. He read it. He looked at Daniel. Is this your signature, Mr. Harmon? Daniel's attorney leaned over, whispered, Yes, Your Honor. And you were aware your wife was named co-trustee? A pause. It was standard estate planning. So you signed it? Yes. The judge nodded. This is valid. Continue, counsel. My attorney pulled out the next exhibit, the bank transfer records. 32 transactions, highlighted. Your Honor, while asking his wife to tighten the budget, Mr. Harmon transferred nearly $48,000 from their joint account to a third party over 8 months. Without her knowledge. She placed the forensic report on top. He also accumulated over $91,000 in hidden debt, and co-signed a lease on a residence his wife never knew existed. The judge leaned forward. Mr. Harmon, where are you currently residing? Daniel's jaw tightened. A temporary residence. The condo at 10th and Laurel. Silence. Yes. And is Ms. Jenna Callahan residing there with you? Daniel's attorney stood. Objection, relevance, overruled. Answer the question. Yes. The judge made a note. Then he looked at both of us. I've seen enough. The trust freeze remains in effect pending final dissolution. The marital home is awarded to Ms. Harmon for exclusive use. Mr. Harmon is ordered to repay $47,850 to a joint escrow account within 60 days. Discovery will proceed under standard dissolution timelines. He banged the gavel. We're adjourned. Daniel's face went white, then red. Then he stood up and walked out without looking at me. I stayed in my seat. My hands were shaking, but for the first time in weeks I could breathe. Daniel settled 40 days later. He didn't want discovery. He didn't want his family to see the forensic report in a public filing. I received half the marital assets, the $47,850 in full, and a lump sum payment from the trust in exchange for relinquishing my co-trustee authority. The house became mine. Deed in my name only. He kept the trust. What was left of it? I signed the settlement on a Tuesday morning. The wire transfer hit my account that afternoon. I paid my attorney. I paid my friend back. I paid off the mortgage, and then I started rebuilding. Daniel's fallout was quiet but real. His family moved oversight of the trust to a third-party fiduciary. I heard from a mutual friend that his mother wouldn't take his calls for 6 months. 2 of his consulting clients dropped him after the court records went public. I didn't make them public. The docket did. Natural consequences. Not revenge. Jenna blocked me on everything. I didn't reach out. I didn't chase her. I kept one photo of us, just as a reminder. Trust your gut, even when you love someone. A year later, I launched a nonprofit. It's called Second Signature. We teach financial literacy to women in marriages or leaving them. How to read documents. How to protect yourself. How to know what you're signing. The logo is a blue binder. Our first workshop had 11 women. Last month we had 60. I don't hate Daniel. I don't think about him at all anymore. But I think about that binder every single day. The one I almost didn't keep. The one that saved my life. Here's what I learned. Power isn't about control. It's not about winning or losing. It's about knowing your worth and having the receipts to prove it. If you've ever been told you're too careful, too controlling, too paranoid for reading the fine print, drop a hand emoji in the comments. You're not too much. You might have just saved your own future. Subscribe if you believe boundaries are built on paperwork. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, this story is a fictionalized dramatization for entertainment purposes. It is not legal, financial, or professional advice. Always consult qualified professionals for your unique situation. Know what you sign, keep your receipts, and never let anyone make you feel small for protecting yourself. Thank you for watching.